the idea of stress tests is we get your heart rate up high enough so that we can tell as we put your heart under strain if there's any potential blockages anywhere, right, in the arteries. Now we can get other things too. Do you have an inducible arrhythmia, et cetera, but the big thing it's looking for is do we have blockages in arteries that's going to lead you a heart attack. So our goal is to get your heart rate to a minimum of 142, which for you should not be difficult, although sometimes for athletic people it's difficult because you're used to having lower heart rates.
Yep.
Once it's at 142, it's considered a valid test. And then if we can get it higher, great, but once it's at 142, then we know the test is good, and we go from there. It goes in stages. Each stage is an elevation and a speed, and then each time the stage goes up every 3 minutes, it goes up in both elevation and speed. First one's going to be super easy. It's a walk. Second one's going to be a brisk walk, but very easy. Third one for most people is kind of in between a fast walk, slow jog, so it's a little weird because...
But you want me to keep walking?
You can do whatever you need to do to keep going.
Okay.
It's that weird feeling of, if I go a little faster, I can jog. If I go a little slower, I'm going to fall off the back of the thing. Yeah.
All right.
So stage 4, which I imagine you'll probably get to, will be a jog. And then where most people get stuck on stage 4, including myself, is the incline's high enough that it starts to kind of put some strain on the lower back. So it's not that you're getting tired, it's just like this isn't comfortable anymore. Right. As long as you get your heart rate, I don't care when we stop it.
Okay.
If at any point in time you do have symptoms, chest pain, shortness of breath, you can't get your breath, you need to let me know right away. Now, it takes me, from the time you let me know to stop it to the time of actually stopping, it takes 3 to 5 seconds. If you need it done quicker than that, hand on each side of the rails, feet on the, and hit that red button.
Got it.
And it stops, just like that.
So, but if I feel fine and we keep going, you'll still be able to get what you need.
100%.
Even if I'm not tapping out.
Yep.
Okay.
If we get into stage 4, you've met your heart rate, and I'll probably just say, hey, we don't need any further. Stage 5 is more of an ego thing than it is anything realistic for information. I do it because it's fun to do, and I like to prove I can still do it. But for purposes of, is there something going on with your heart or not? We don't need to do that.
Right.
Once you are done, I will have you continue to walk very slowly. So once we stop the test, per se, the treadmill it'll go down. It'll continue to walk at a very slow pace. I'll let you do that for a minute or two to recover. And then I'll stop it, have you get off, let you set another minute or two, and then we'll stop the test outright. Perfect. And then we'll take a look at it. All right?
I'm ready.
All righty. So, and last thing, I will give you a heads up with about 30 seconds to go and probably 5 to 10 seconds to go that it's going to go up to the next stage. Mm-hmm. Every 2 minutes into the stage, I get your blood pressure. Okay. So I'm just going to grab a baseline here real quick.
So when you're getting my BP, do you need me to step off?
Nope. You just keep trucking.
Okay.
That's the art of doing a stress test for me, is I've got to get your BP while you're bouncing around.
I remember. We had to do this for exercise phys and exercise science. It's been a long time. BP in the zone.
120/70.
Not bad.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. So on a stress test, what should happen to his blood pressure? Which one? Or both?
The systolic, mostly.
Correct.
A little bit diastolic.
Diastolic shouldn't budge a whole lot. If it does, especially if it goes up, like if this went up to 85, that would be a problem.
Yeah.
We'd worry about that.
Mm-hmm.
If it goes from 70 to 72, especially since we're checking, he's marching along with a margin of error kind of thing. The only problem with doing stress tests on people in really good shape is it takes a lot longer.
Yeah.
he probably won't get to his heart rate until at least stage 3, if not stage 4.
Somebody's got to make you guys work a little bit.
That's right. But if, regardless of how good a shape they are, if you don't get it to 85% of the heart rate, it's not a valid test.
So the 142 is based on a calculation for me.
Correct. It's 85% of your predicted maximal heart rate, which is towards 220 minus age, which is one of the poorest medical studies ever done, but we've never found a better way to do it, so it's stuck.
It's pretty ancient.
It is. It's very ancient. If I recall, I may be incorrect, but if I recall correctly, the study was like 8 people, and it was not very well designed. But the results came out, and we were like, well, every time we try to outsmart it, it still works, so we'll just stick with it. All right, you're about 2 minutes into the first stage. Heart rate's 92. I'm going to assume this is probably not even remotely exertional for you. Yeah. All right, we're going to recheck your blood pressure real quick.
What grade are we on? 7, 8, 10?
This is here 10%, 1.7 miles an hour. And you're going to go up in 3 seconds. 2, 1. And so it's most of the time when I did these and trained on them, the cardiologist would come in, start the test, and then walk out. But I did have one cardiologist that says to get the best benefit, you need to stay here and watch it, because even though you can go back and see all this stuff, when the report prints out, it's only going to print out very brief segments of it. If you're watching it and something were to go wonky, you can catch it right then and there. So with technology, it's kind of nice because, you know, as they bounce, and right now he's not getting a lot of bounce because he's not going real fast, but as people bounce, the lead, if you step at the same time as trying to record, then the lead goes like that. So what this does is this red line is the average of all of them together. And so it allows us to kind of even out and omit those ones that are wonky. And then just looking right now, you can see, I mean, does no ST segment elevation depression. You know, he's got a little bit of what we call an elevated J point, but people that are in shape almost consistently have that. So really, and he's in good rhythm, so no arrhythmias or anything like that. So heart rate's up 105. You're doing 2.5 miles at 12% right now.
So if this checks out okay, do you think no need for an angiogram? Or maybe do that anyway?
That's the part we'll kind of have to discuss. I mean, angiograms, you know, they're done routinely, but it's not to say that they're benign or non-invasive. They are.
Right.
So the question is somebody that's in your shape with no signs of blockages, how do we assess that CT calcium score? You know, and you'll even get debate amongst cardiologists. So if I send you to one,
I saw some of that.
yeah, and I send you to another, some will tell me I'm an idiot for ordering a CT calcium score, and some of them will think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Right. So one of the things I was thinking, looking at this.
Okay, you'll go up in about 10 seconds.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Looking at some of the labs, the results from last year's cardiac portion of the big clinic stuff.
Yeah.
I'm assuming we'll do most of the same next month. But I'm assuming we take some of that into account on the cardiac side.
We
So
do.
what is that, right?
Yeah, so there's numerous different scoring systems to say what are your cardiovascular risks based on whatever numerical things you want to go hunt for in the scoring system. There's a scoring system called AstroCharm that uses CT calcium score and uses some of the labs from MDVIP to say here's your chance of having heart disease, and it is probably more accurate than the normal Framingham we do for people, which is a good start but not super accurate. So mainly, we're mainly looking at precordial leads because that's measuring your right, left, and septum, and you can see just there doesn't look like there's any ST segment depression or elevation. Axis is normal. You can see here how it's starting to go up and down. We're starting to get bounce effect, which you'll get mostly off of these leads because they're down here quite close to his legs. So those are the ones that are going to bounce the most. And your heart rate's 136. Workload's 3.4 miles an hour, 14% grade.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have it in the notes. We might. My dad confirmed last night. It was 10 years ago. He had the quadruple bypass.
Okay. How old was he at the time when he had it?
65-ish. Okay. He's doing great. Still kicking.
And you got 10 seconds. And you're going up now. So we've reached your target heart rate. We'll see if we can take you maybe a minute and a half or two into this. Yeah, and that's part of the problem. They may start falling off as you get sweaty.
Try and hold it.
If you can. It's still reading, so we're doing okay. So now you can see, especially over here, it's starting to get jumbly.
Yeah.
So we still just kind of focus on the precordials. We're getting pretty good precordial leads here.
Yeah.
It's pretty consistent. So. And again, no signs of any problems. We get his heart rate up to 98% of his predicted maximum. Tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and slow it down, okay?
Okay.
Because we've hit where we need to hit. No problems during any of that? Just make sure the spread out of proportion to workload, etc.
Yes, especially like having to be constrained and then hold this. Like,
Yeah.
One arm free makes a big difference.
Yep. Let me give you about 20 more seconds there, and then I'll stop and have you sit. And actually, I'm going to give you a little more than that. I'm going to grab you a bottle of water real quick.
Yeah, you were chatting the whole time, so it was good.
Not too shabby for an old guy.
Pretty good.
Thank you.
All right, let's. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Take a step back, and then over here, just have a seat right here on the edge. Give you that. There. Do that. Check the pressure one more time.
You mind turning the camera this way, Karen?
Oh, yes.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Doo-doo. All right. So we'll get the actual numbers, but your stress is awesome. No worries.
No red flags?
No red flags whatsoever.
Don't worry.
All good. I've been waxed before.
Yeah.
That was a challenge.
My wife and I were, in about a year, we were on vacation in North Carolina. And while we were there, we were staying up in the mountains while we were there. Both my son and I needed a haircut. So we went to this little barber shop. It was awesome, like old school barber shop. I had never had anything waxed before, didn't know any better, the whole bit, right? So she's like, she gives me the thing, she does the shave, she goes, do you want your ears waxed? I'm like, sure, I guess, whatever. So she does a hot, and she goes to rip them out right as my wife walks in. And I'm like, cross-eyed and the whole bit. And of course my wife thought it was the funniest thing.
Of course.
I was like,
Oh, yeah.
so this last year we went back again. She goes, "You need to wax?" I was like, "Not unless there's a gun to my head. There is no way,
It's
no
torture.
how."
Torture for sure.
Like I have a new admiration for women doing that kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
stuff.
All right, we're going to shut this down. We good?
Yep.
All right. Post below, depending on where this is posted. We'll do some follow-up, and I'm gonna bring you the results summary once we get those from Dr. O and the team here. Peace. Much love.